Hello students, welcome. So today we are going to discuss a new unit, redox reactions. So in this unit basically we will discuss about reactions which involves reduction and oxidation. Now reduction and oxidation has some different definitions. That means multiple different things can be considered as oxidation as well as reduction. So we will discuss about what is oxidation, what is reduction, and we will try to learn how to balance chemical reaction using some methods. So objective of our unit will be identify redox reaction as a class of reaction in which oxidation reduction reactions occur simultaneously. Now oxidation and reduction cannot occur separately. If oxidation is occurring in reaction, then there must be some reduction. And similarly, if a reduction is occurring, then there must be some oxidation. So define the term oxidation, reduction, oxidant and reductant. Explain the mechanism of redox reactions by electron transfer process. Use the concept of oxidation number to identify oxidant and reductant in reaction. Classify redox reaction into combination, decomposition, displacement and disproportionation reaction, and suggest a comparative order among the various reductant and oxidant. Balance chemical equation using oxidation number and half reaction method, and learn the concept of redox reaction in term of electrode potential. So all of these points are our objective. That means we are going to learn these points in this unit. But first, what is oxidation and reduction? So in introduction part, some basic detail about redox reactions are mentioned. So first thing, chemistry deals with the variety of matter and change of one kind of matter into other. That means chemistry is change of material into one form to other. It may be either physically or chemically. That means only physical states of the materials will change. As for example, ice into water both contains H2O molecules. So chemically they are same, just physical difference is there. But when hydrogen and oxygen gases reacts with each other, it produces water. So it is chemical change. And in chemical changes, majority reactions are redox reactions. That means it is a type of reaction which occurs during the chemical reactivities. And this type of transformation can be occurred with the various type of reactions, and one of the important these type of reactions are redox reactions. A number of phenomena, both physical as well as biological, are concerned with redox reactions, and these reactions find extensive use in pharmaceuticals, biological industries, metallurgies, agriculture, etc. The importance of this reaction is apparent from the fact that burning of a different type of fuel or obtaining energy for domestic transport and other chemical purposes, electrochemical processes for extraction of highly reactive metals and non-metals, manufacturing of chemical compounds like caustic soda, operation of dry and wet batteries, and corrosion of metals fall within the pure view of redox processes. So these type of reactions will be discussed in upcoming standards as well. That means in standard 12, many of the reactions mentioned here will be discussed in detail in different units. So to understand the base of those reactions, we have to learn redox reactions first. And learning this type of reaction is also important for environmental issues like hydrogen economy and depletion of ozone. Now, classical idea of redox reactions, oxidation and reduction reactions. So in initial times, oxidation term was used for adding oxygen in molecules. So if you add oxygen in the reaction, that means reaction of metals or non-metals or any other type of compounds or molecules with oxygen. Normally these type of reactions are known as combustion reaction. Whenever we burn some material, either it is metal or non-metal or anything else, if we burn it continuously in presence of air, then it will react with atmospheric oxygen and you will get oxide of that material, metal oxide, non-metal oxide, etc. And we know that in air, second largest component is oxygen. First we have nitrogen and then we have oxygen. So oxygen is freely available in atmosphere. So majority of the reactants, because of comparatively large quantity of oxygen in air as well as higher reactivity of oxygen. Nitrogen is even more than oxygen, but it is not as reactive as oxygen. That's why, although nitrogen is in higher concentration in air, still majority reactions will occur with oxygen. So that's why we have many different type of oxides of metals, non-metals or semi-metals available. So these type of reactions were known as oxidation reactions in earlier times. And the following reactions represents the oxidation processes according to the limited definition of oxidation. So here metal and non-metal reaction of oxygen is mentioned. When Mg reacts with O2 it forms MgO, and when sulfur reacts with O2 it forms SO2. So both of these reactions are known as oxidation reaction because we are adding oxygen into the elements. So in these two reactions, magnesium and sulfur are oxidized because we are adding oxygen into them. Similarly, methane is oxidized owing the addition of oxygen to it. So in this case, we have CH4 which reacts with oxygen to produce carbon dioxide and higher water molecules. So simply hydrogens are replaced by oxygen. This is combustion reaction of methane. That means when we burn methane gas, it simply reacts with oxygen and it converts into carbon dioxide and water, and it releases high amount of energy, just like the gas we use in our kitchen. Liquefied petroleum gas or LPG is same type of gas, just like methane. It is also a hydrocarbon, mainly butane. So it gives same type of reaction. When hydrocarbon reacts with oxygen, that means combustion, it releases carbon dioxide and water, and high amount of heat will be produced. So in this reaction, careful examination of reaction, it also reveals that hydrogens are replaced by oxygen. So we are removing hydrogen from the reactants and we are adding oxygen into them. And therefore the scope of term oxidation was broadened to include the removal of hydrogen from the substances. So now we have two different terms of oxidation, either addition of oxygen or removal of hydrogen. Both of them are considered as oxidation reaction. And the following illustration is another reaction where the removal of hydrogen can also be cited as oxidation reaction. So H2S when reacts with oxygen, simply hydrogen is removed from sulfur. No oxygen is added into it. So as we can see, reaction for sulfur is considered as oxidation, although we didn't add oxygen into the sulfur. But still for sulfur it is oxidation reaction. So now we have two different definitions, addition of oxygen or removal of hydrogen. Now as the knowledge of chemistry grew, it natural to extend the term oxidation for reactions similar to reactions mentioned above. Now which do not involve oxygen but other electronegative elements are also considered as oxidation. That means oxygen is electronegative element. So when we add electronegative element into the reaction, it is known as oxidation with or without oxygen. So some of the reactions are mentioned here. When Mg reacts with difluorine, dichlorine or sulfur, it forms MgF2, MgCl2 or MgS. So all of these reactions are addition of electronegative elements in our metal, and that's why all of these steps are also considered as oxidation. So now we have third definition for oxidation. First was addition of oxygen, second removal of hydrogen, and third is addition of electronegative element. So if we add more electronegative element than the reactant itself, then it is considered oxidation. So reaction 8.5 to 8.7 represents oxidation using electronegative elements. Similarly, we can expand more about oxidation definition. As mentioned earlier, addition of oxygen, and we extended the definition with addition of electronegative element is considered oxidation. Similarly, removal of hydrogen is considered as oxidation. So we can extend again the definition by adding term electropositive element. Hydrogen is electropositive, so removal of hydrogen or removal of electropositive elements from the reaction is also considered oxidation. So the not only the removal of hydrogen but also the removal of electropositive elements are considered as oxidation. So here reaction is mentioned K4FeCN6 plus H2O2. It gives K3FeCN6 plus KOH. So what is the change in initial reactant? So initial reactant was K4FeCN6. As we can see, we have 4 potassium ions, but after the reaction in our main product we have 3 potassiums. So one potassium is removed, and that's why it is considered as oxidation. We removed electropositive element from the reaction. So that's why the compound is changed from potassium ferrocyanide into the potassium ferricyanide. So to summarize the oxidation term, it is defined as addition of oxygen or electronegative element to a substance or removal of hydrogen or electropositive element from substance. All of these 4 are considered as oxidation. And now let's talk about the reduction. Now reduction is exactly the opposite of oxidation. So we will discuss in detail, but from the definition of oxidation, as mentioned, addition of oxygen or electronegative element. So opposite of it will be removal of oxygen or electronegative element. It will be considered as reduction. And similarly, the removal of hydrogen or electropositive element is considered as oxidation. Then opposite of it, addition of hydrogen and electropositive element from the substance is considered reduction. Now in the beginning, the reduction was considered as removal of oxygen, and however the term reduction has been broadened these days to include removal of oxygen or electronegative element or addition of hydrogen or electropositive element. So it is considered as reduction, just like opposite of oxidation. All of the reaction mentioned in oxidation stage in reverse are reduction reaction. That means consider the reactant as product and product as reactant in above reactions, and we have example of reduction reactions. Now according to definition given below, above, the following are example of reduction processes. HgO, when we remove oxygen from it, it gives Hg metal in liquid form because it is liquid metal, and oxygen gas is removed. So we removed oxygen, that means it is reduction. FeCl3 to FeCl2, we remove one of the electronegative element. So removal of electronegative element is considered as oxidation. Now CH2 double bond CH2, it is an unsaturated compound. Unsaturated compound, that means it contains either double or triple bonds in between the structure, and we can add some of the elements without removing anything. That means unsaturated compound gives addition reaction. So in ethene CH2 double bond CH2, when we add hydrogen, it gives ethane. Simply carbon carbon double bond will break and both of the carbon will get one extra hydrogen. So it is addition of hydrogen. That's why it is considered reduction. And similarly, HgCl2 plus SnCl2, it gives Hg2Cl2 and SnCl4. So in HgCl2 we add Hg and you will get Hg2Cl2. So addition of electropositive element, that means it is reduction. So all of this reaction represents reductions. But at the same time we have some oxidation going on. So in the last reaction, oxidation of stannous chloride to stannic chloride is also occurring because of addition of electronegative element chlorine into it. So all of the reduction reactions can't be complete without oxidation, and all of the oxidation reactions can be complete without reduction. So that's why it was soon realized that oxidation and reduction always occurs simultaneously, and we can confirm it by re-examining the above examples, and hence the word redox was coined for the class of chemistry reaction. So let's check some of the reactions mentioned in oxidation, and let's try to find reduction reaction rate. So for Mg we added oxygen into it, that's why it is considered oxidation. But for oxygen we removed one of the oxygen. Initially we have O2, that means O double bond O. We removed one of the oxygen and we attached Mg. That means removal of oxygen, as mentioned according to reduction definition, removal of oxygen is considered as reduction, as well as we added magnesium into the oxygen, and magnesium is electropositive element, so addition of electropositive element is also considered as reduction. Similarly, for second reaction, for sulfur it is oxidation, but we add sulfur into the oxygen. Although sulfur is electronegative element, but in comparison with oxygen it is electropositive. Oxygen is more electronegative than the sulfur. So we are actually adding sulfur into the oxygen, that means electropositive element than the oxygen into the reaction. That's why it is reduction. Similarly, in this third reaction, we added oxygen into the carbon, and that's why addition of oxygen is considered as oxidation. But for hydrogen, as we can see, we also added oxygen. So it means for hydrogen this reaction is also oxidation. So where is reduction? So reduction occurs for oxygen. As we can see, initially we have O2 and now we have CO2. That means we removed oxygen and we added carbon. Carbon is electropositive than the oxygen, and similarly from O2 to H2O we added hydrogen in oxygen from O2 to H2O. So addition of hydrogen or electropositive element is considered as reduction. So in all of the reaction you can find reducing species and oxidized species. So all of the reactions occur simultaneously. That means if something is reduced, then there is something must be oxidized, and vice versa. So no oxidation and reduction reactions occurs separately, but they will occur simultaneously. Now same thing is discussed in problem 8.1. In this problem our target is, in the reaction given below, identify the species undergoing oxidation and reduction. So reaction is H2S plus Cl2, it gives HCl and S, and Fe3O4 plus Al, it gives Fe plus Al2O3, and Na plus H2 gives NaH. So let's try to find which species undergo oxidation and reduction. So first let's concentrate on hydrogen, because hydrogen is changing from H2S into HCl. So no change for hydrogen, because hydrogen is electropositive than sulfur and chlorine. So no change for these two elements. So nothing is going on with hydrogen. So now let's concentrate on sulfur. So sulfur is going from H2S to S. That means hydrogen is removed from the sulfur. If hydrogen is removed, then it is considered as oxidation. So for sulfur we have oxidation reaction. And next, chlorine. For chlorine, as we can see, we are adding hydrogen. So addition of hydrogen, that means it is reduction. So for chlorine, reaction is reduction reaction. Now in second reaction, Fe3O4. So we have oxide of iron and it changes into the iron metal. So oxygen is removed, and if oxygen is removed, then it is reduction. So for Fe3O4 it is reduction reaction, and for aluminium oxygen is added. So aluminium follows oxidation reaction. Now for last reaction, sodium plus hydrogen gives NaH. So sodium is electropositive element than the hydrogen. Keep in mind, sodium is electropositive and hydrogen is electronegative than the sodium. So we are adding hydrogen into the sodium. So we can consider it as reduction, because we are adding hydrogen But in this case, sodium is more positive than the hydrogen. So we are adding electropositive element into the hydrogen, and that's why you will get NaH. So simply addition of electropositive element is considered as reduction. So we are reducing hydrogen and we are oxidizing sodium. So sodium follows oxidation and hydrogen follows reduction. So third reaction is quite unusual than the others because according to definition addition of hydrogen should be reduction, but in that reaction addition of sodium is considered as reduction. That means addition of hydrogen in last reaction is oxidation. So it is opposite as we discussed in our definition. So as mentioned, reaction 3 chosen here prompts us to think in terms of other way to define redox reaction. So we have to define new definition, or we have to derive new definition for redox reactions. So in next lecture we will discuss about the redox reaction in terms of electron transfer reaction. If you have any confusion regarding to these points, or if you came across any new words which are not familiar to you, then feel free to ask. We will discuss about them in detail in next lecture so that your confusions can be reduced. So some of the points discussed here are already learned in previous units, so we are not going to discuss them in detail, but still if you don't remember it, or if you are not familiar with some words or terms used in the description, then feel free to ask. We will discuss about these terms in detail and then we will move forward.